So I think another unbelievable piece is if you looked at the Marach or Zarua. The Marach or Zarua, the son of the Or Zarua, brings down an unbelievable definition of what does it mean mitoch shelo lishma ba lishma. In the third to last source on the page, he says, "Vani hedjot upaut," I, the very young one, the regular person, Amar, dekol shelo lishma chadhu v'kulam aveira. When I do something shelo lishma, it's categorically a definition called an aveira. Az ota aveira hutra shesofa lavo lidei mitzvah. Kemo matzil isha b'nahar u'mifakeach gal b'shabbat. V'chein mashmeh b'nazir, the Gemara I quoted to you, shemedameh ota l'maisa d'ya'el. Aval mi shemakshe or po le'olam, lo yaseh mitzvah noach lo shelo nivra. So the Marach or Zura has a unbelievable definition of what it means mitoch shelo lishma ba lishma. It doesn't mean that you're doing, you're just starting off and then you're going to get to the piece. He says when you do some shelo lishma, it's an aveira. But it's an aveira with a certain stamp of bidatz or rabbanut, right? What is it? It's saying that what's going to happen, because we know. But right, it's not that you did good, but you could be doing better. You did wrong. But what? It's wrong that either you want to say it's going to turn into a mitzvah, but right now it's the minus. It's similar to an aveira lishma. I have the right intentions, but it's a maisa aveira. And that's what he's saying now also. So when could I actually then do that? He says for sure if I'm makshe or pola olam, right? That goes back to over here also, right? That when could you actually say mitoch shelo lishma ba lishma, right? If I'm lekanter lityaher, probably not. Probably not also. Had a question over here?
Yeah,
name again?
I don't understand if that's how he's explaining lo lishma, then how can if you do an avera it come lishma?
So that there's a concept called an avera lishma. Again, it's not recommended that not everybody can go and say I want to do an avera lishma. If you do, you should see your local Orthodox rabbi. But the idea is that it's mandated that there's a concept that it's an avera, but the Torah built in that there are certain pieces that there. I'll give you an example. There are sugyas like that. Not only the concept of avera lishma by Ya'el, right, in Shoftim, but there are other cases. For example, to fast. Let's say you have a bad dream, right? It's called the Tanit Chalom. The Gemara in Tanit says that when should you fast? You fast the next day that you had the dream, and it says even on Shabbat. It says Yafet Tanit Chalom Ke'esh L'Na'oret on Shabbat. But that's seemingly they're mandating you. It's a machloket rishonim to do it on Shabbat, and they said Mike Takate. How do you fix it up? You fast the next day on Sunday. You make it up the next day, right? But the question is, how can that be? Ki'ilu again, it's an avera lishma almost because you're fasting on Shabbat, and then you're not having your chalent. You're not having the oneg Shabbat. So there are realms of halacha that way. Just I want to end off at 2 points because I've already been gone. The Rambam, if you looked at the Rambam, I said the Rambam was the normal way. Oh, I didn't quote for you the Rambam over here. The Sheil Teshuvot HaRambam. The Rambam says Shamin, and from these Gemaras, the Sheil Teshuvot Rambam Simon Taf Nun Hey, She'ein roi la'asok el lishma, u'lishma hu ha'ikar, v'lo nitztavinu el la'asok ba'lishma, va'usik shelo lishma roi lo shelo nivra, va'af al pi kein, and despite that it's roi shelo nivra, he says there's no contradiction, as much as we had said, right? Tosfos and Sota, we had said that these two are on one side, and this is on the other side. No! The Rambam puts these two together. And mean 3 in that case. He says it's true when you do shalol lishma, it's ro'ish lo shalol nivra, va'afal pikein tover mutavu lasok ba shalol lishma, me'it shalol asak ba kolikar. That was the Svat Emet also. So if it's so bad, maybe I shouldn't do it at all. Shezeh she'esek ba asak ba shalol kahogen ho va'osek ba mitoch shalol lishma yavo lishma. That's the classical piece, what we had said originally, right? But within that, I think, at least philosophically, I'm not going to get to some of the chidushim because I'm already out of time. But at least maybe just to understand a little bit what the Rambam is saying, and then I'll leave off with, because I'm already out of time. The Rambam says Noach shelo nivra because it's bad, right? He says it's roi lo shelo nivra. Why? Because what are you doing when you're doing shalol lishma? Like philosophically, what's going on? I'm putting myself. L'tyaher, l'kanter, me, Rebbe, covered, me. Right? That's roi lo shelo nivra. Why is the roi shelo nivra? Because what's the whole purpose of creation? Right? The Navi says, what's the purpose of creation? Is it about me? It's not about me. Hashem says, lo barativ, ela l'chvod yitzartiv. Right? To tell over tilati yisaperu. To tell over about God. But then he says, and it could be, the Rambam doesn't say it, but it could very well be that fits in also. That it's Noach lo shelo nivra, and then on a certain level, you're making the Torah a samamavis. Because what's the Torah supposed to be? What is the Torah? The Ramban says, for example, the Torah is an expression of God, God's word. And what am I doing? I'm putting myself there. But it could very well be that this whole concept of mitoch shalol lishma balishma is another example of HaKadosh Baruch Hu saying, look, I understand, I'm willing, like the famous case of the Sotah, right? For Shalom Bayis, he erases his name. It could very well be on a daily level, God says, I'm willing to have a chilul Hashem. And really, in principle, Noach lo shelo nivra, man should have been created. Because really, every time ki'ilu, there's a chilul Hashem, it's a mini, little bit like the Marach or Zarua is saying, there's a certain sama mavet here, there's a certain mita, which is chilul Hashem, but Hashem's saying, I'm willing to maktin myself in order for you to get to where you need to get to be able to be that full l'shem shamayim. Now, just another quick, this 2 very quick ending with 12 seconds. Number one is I could have thought to say that there's a distinction of mitoch shalol lishma bal lishma, where it depends where you're holding in life. Which means when I'm just starting to learn out, maybe that's not like the Marach or Zarua. Nafkamina would be mitoch shalol lishma bal lishma. What do you expect? I'm a 14-year-old kid. However, if I'm already 45 and I'm knowing what I'm supposed to be doing, maybe there isn't that idea of mitoch shalol lishma bal lishma. And the last piece, which I'm out of my time, the last 6 seconds, is the Rambam. When he brings it down, he only brings down the Torah. He doesn't bring down the case of the mitzvot. In the Perek Gimel, okay, the Rav Hutner brings that down, and it could very well be that Rav Hutner, just in one sentence, or at least I'll say half of what Rav Hutner says, is it could have been that Torah Shalol Lishma is much worse than Mitzvah Shalol Lishma. Because Torah Shalol Lishma, Torah was given to you, you have to learn it, Kinetinata, the Gemara in Bracha says, with Ema and Yira. And therefore, when you're learning Torah Shalol Lishma, what are you doing? You're taking the Chefs of Torah, and you're doing it, making it a Samamavet. And the Chiddush of the Rambam, La Halacha, is that what? Is that you're allowed to learn Torah Shalol Lishma. And I would just add one piece, if you know about the Rambam has a very clear piece that there's a Perek Aleph and a Perek Gimel in the Rambam. Perek Aleph of the Rambam is talking about every Joe Shmo. You're supposed to make sure that they learn Torah, and if there's a special exemption if you're a woman and why, etc. And then Perek Gimel is about what? Perek Gimel is about Torah if you are what's called the Keter Shem Tov, right? The Keter Torah. That's Perek Gimel. And that's even bigger Chiddush in my eyes. That the Rambam saying even there, which I would have thought, you can't learn Torah Shalol Lishma because it's anti-Kinetinata. Even a person who's at the level of a high level of a person, Keter Torah, even he or she, even though, you know what I mean, right? The idea is what? That they can get to the Keter Torah. Okay? I'm sorry if I took a little extra time. Hopefully we'll all be zocheh that to make the Kiddushim Shemayim to be learning Lishma with ourselves and with our friends.